My name is Shaun and I'll be moderating today's session. I'm really excited to have this group of panelists joining us for this discussion, who've really come to this issue with kind of great experience from diverse perspectives. If in doubt, you're getting settled in, you want to get a little closer, I would certainly invite you to do that. What we're going to do for this session is I'm just going to start to frame the issues around the issues of impact investing, social enterprise, and really turn to some questions and answers and discussion with our panelists. And after my guiding, some guided questions to speak to their experiences to this issue, I really hope it's going to result in a larger conversation and dialogue with all of you. If I can just briefly introduce our panelists. Amy Friedman is with the Inuit Heritage, with one of the largest tribal councils in Alaska, with the largest social service providers, doing a lot around social services, and that includes social enterprise. Scott Hackenberg is a lending officer with RSF, Social Finance, who has really become a preeminent, premier social lender, especially in the United States, but also involved with work internationally. Sherri Pittman represents Indigenous Designs, has been working for over a decade with garments and textiles, working with organized producers in Latin America and bringing their products to the premier retail stores in the United States. Selke is with Good Capital, is an investment officer who's really been investing in expansion of social enterprises. And Elliot Logan-Hines is with the RUNA Foundation based in Ecuador, working with Indigenous peoples around sourcing a wild harvest herb that is now being brought and manufactured into tea products into this country. One of the things I want to frame, there's increasingly what we're hearing about in the world of philanthropy is the issue of venture philanthropy, impact investment, and I would pose to you to say that the world of philanthropy is changing as we really think about some huge social challenges that we face in general, including with Indigenous peoples. And I think there's a lot of questioning, how can we do more faster? And there's a growing community saying that there are opportunities to look at how we might look at philanthropy and investment to achieve some of the social change, environmental change that bring many of us here to this conference. Something I wanted to point out to you as this is an emerging field to think about impact investing. A report that just came out from put together by the Moderator group, together with the Acumen Fund, called From Blueprint to Scale. I think we're going to be hearing more about this report that just came out, and it really makes the case of why and how philanthropy is and can continue to play an important role in how to make investment work to further social and environmental goals. I think it's a large field that has great implications for all of us. And as a related matter, within foundations, we often think about, there's often conversations about PRIs, program-related investments, and mission-related investments. There's a number of publications really looking at that issue. One that came out is by Trust Law. It's online. So an example of a resource to begin to think about, if you're new to this topic, what is it all about, program-related investment, mission-related investment. So with that framing, I think, and really want to kick off with our panel that really have come to this issue with significant diverse backgrounds and experiences. And I wanted to start with Amy. If you could share a little bit about your organization and why do you work with social enterprise?
Well, thank you for having me here. I'm excited to be on this panel. I'm really excited about the area of social enterprise. Just to give you a little background on our organization, Cook Inlet Tribal Council, or CIC as I'll probably refer to it as throughout this conversation, is an organization that's set up to work with the Alaska Native American Indian people in the Cook Inlet region of Alaska. Our doors are open to any Alaska Native American Indians, and in often cases the whole community, with the idea that as a people we have never lived in isolation. We have always connected with the villages near us, sometimes through warring, but sometimes through games and celebration, but that we need to help our people live in the new world that's come to us. Probably about 10 years ago, we really shifted from an entitlement-based organization, one that was a quasi-governmental organization, we're really seen as a welfare organization, which many social service agencies are seen as. We changed our mission to be that's really focused on people, partnership, and potential. Our mission statement is to work in partnership with our people to develop opportunities that help fulfill our endless potential. And at that same time, when we changed our mission statement, we changed how we referred to our people. We used to call them clients, and that implied that we're doing something to them and not with them. So we now call them our people and our participants, and that implies that they're working with us to help develop these opportunities. We do offer a range of social services, at the core being employment and training and education as really the stepping stones to opportunity, but we do help remove barriers such as recovery services and substance abuse and child and family services. We have been doing social enterprise since inception, although we haven't always called it that. We were formed over 25 years ago, and at that time, some of the leaders in the community asked us to take on the lead for doing accounting services and IT services for other nonprofits in the community. And so when I came on 11 years ago, we had about 5 clients in each. I grew it from 5 clients to over 43 nonprofits across Alaska that we were serving, with the idea that we help them focus on their mission instead of balancing the checkbook or making sure their servers and computers are working, that's going to help our people access their resources. We spun off the non-native client base probably about 5 years ago now to a new nonprofit organization whose mission is to help support nonprofits. And it freed up our time to embark on some really exciting initiatives. I know I connected with someone earlier about the connection with art and therapy. We had developed a carving studio and an art gallery to help homeless Alaska Natives, American Indians in the Anchorage area reconnect to a healthy environment through carving. That was so successful that the artists themselves took on a peer-to-peer mentoring role where people would come into the carving studio drunk, they would escort them out and follow up with them later saying, what can we do to support you? And so we decided we should just give the carving studio to the artists, and we sold the gallery to one of our staff who was running it, and they still work closely together. So the things we do in social enterprise, we're identifying barriers and challenges our people are facing. And so one of the ones I'd really like to highlight today, and let me know if I'm taking too long, is called Shaun. And that means New Beginnings in Dena'ina Athabaskan. And it is a program that is geared towards those who are either entering or at risk of entering the justice system or exiting the justice system. We have an overrepresentation of our young men in the jail system and the justice system in Alaska. And so we were invited by Delancey Street, and anyone who's from the Bay Area may know that Delancey Street is a reentry program in South San Francisco, and so we replicated it. And through this program, the men sign up for a 2-year stint where they live and eat for free in a peer-to-peer mentoring home, and then they agree to work for free in our enterprises. And the idea behind this is as you exit the justice system, one of the key barriers is building up your resume again. You're limited in your job choices, you're limited in your connections because you've basically isolated yourself from the community. And so what this does is we've built a way where they can come in through various enterprises. We have a restaurant with catering and wholesale food business. We have lawn maintenance and janitorial, and you wouldn't think it's possible, but our janitorial is doing services unsupervised at banks in Alaska. And so it's this wonderful connection between a program and the community members behind the program. And so we aren't doing this just as a regular business. We do charge market rates because all the revenue that comes from those businesses sustain the house operations. And so we're currently about 80% funded through our enterprise net profits, and then the other 20% comes from community support and donations. And so it really takes the government out of the model, and it's really important for us because they give you an idea of what it's like to deal with the government, and not that they aren't a valuable resource and support in many of our aspects of our life. But we had this grant where we're operating youth centers across Alaska. One of the success measures was that the students had to mow their parents' lawn. If you've ever been out to rural